iPhone 15 Pro after one day. Been using this basically for 24 hours. I picked it up at the Apple store yesterday. Seems like a lot of y'all saw that video and enjoyed it. So, well, thank you for watching that. And, well, maybe I'll make more like that in the future. My thoughts so far. So, just taking it out of the box, using it, it is a little bit lighter that you can feel like immediately out of the box. I don't know how much of that was placebo effect because, of course, we're told it's lighter because the frame is made of titanium instead of stainless steel. Also, I've been using the iPhone 14 Pro Max as the iPhone that I record my videos with that I actually handle with any frequency. So it did feel lighter out of the box. You may feel that, you may not. I do appreciate the rounded kind of polished off corners. It does give it a smoother, slightly more comfortable holding experience. And I do like the form factor on the 15 Pro. I like the Pro series, and I talked about this previously, but my thought process with the battery, some of my fears are confirmed because the battery life still ain't great. Now, there are two things, distinctions I want to draw here, one being Android, one being Apple. When you get an Android phone, you can't really tell exactly how good your battery life is going to be until you've had it for about 5 or 6 days because you got to allow for the adaptive battery to kick in and things like that. Apple, they work differently. At least that's what's been preached to me so many times. But first day, I basically had to put it on the charger twice because, well, it didn't come fully charged. That's expected. I did charge it up and then it died pretty quick. So it definitely didn't last a full day for me. But one thing I do want to caution here, the first day is not the best day to truly evaluate battery life because you're doing a lot of things on here you wouldn't normally do every other day, like install things, set everything up, restore the phone from the iCloud. Like, you're doing a lot. Like, there's a whole lot going on in here. So I will see how it is today. I've started off with the full charge. We'll see how long it lasts, but I'm not expecting great things. However, I did actually pick up an iPhone 15 Pro Max because by some miracle they had one in the store while I was there. So I said, go ahead and give me that while I'm here. So we'll see which one works out best. Now, interesting enough, I've seen a lot of complaining from normal iPhone users because it has USB-C now and you can't use your older chargers. This is actually something I'm really enjoying. I tweeted about last night. I like the USB-C because I can charge all of my phones and devices with the same cable. So I'm happy about that. I don't give Apple a lot of credit because basically they were forced by regulatory people to go ahead and start putting USB-C in. So, but I do appreciate the benefit of that regulatory compliance. So I'm happy that that's there. And it did concern me though when I was charging it. The first time I charged it up, I was holding my phone. The phone got really hot, like uncomfortably hot. And I was looking around like on Twitter and I saw some other people saying the same things. But then when I charged it the second time, cool as a cucumber. I didn't do it again. And it was past the point where I was installing and updating all that stuff. So it was really weird. I'm going to monitor this. I've seen other things on the internet about heat related stuff going on. The chip gets hot, people saying it throttles, whatever. I need to experience some of this stuff, see how it works in day-to-day life. Beautiful phone though. I do like the natural titanium. I'm glad I got this color. I'm actually recording on the 15 Pro Max right now with the built-in microphone, just so you can kind of get an idea for what the microphones are like. They're the same in both of the phones. This is a selfie camera. The selfie camera is unchanged. They did supposedly, I think, put new sensors for the regular cameras, so it's going to be slightly improved over like the 14 Pro and Pro Max experience, but yeah, not a whole lot of change. Now, of course, this has the 3x zoom we had last year. The 15 Pro Max has the 5x zoom with that refractory, whatever, blah, 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 craziness stuff going on. I'll test that out later in this video. I took a couple of photos. I think they look good. I don't have a whole lot of problems with the iPhone camera until it comes to light exposure, HDR, and making your face look orange and things like that. I'm curious to see how that pans out. It seems like the lens flare stuff, from what I'm hearing, is still there. But overall, using it for the first day, I mean, it's all right. It's an iPhone. The magic quickly wears off because you set it up, you restore from your iCloud, or you transfer from your device, and then it's the same old Apple experience. One thing I did have problems with was transferring my data over. I had to set this phone up 4 times because it kept dying. Well, not dying. It would crash in the data transfer process. And then if that happens, then you have to restart the phone from scratch all over again. And then when I was trying to scan the QR code little dots that pop up the circle, twice that failed, and I had to do the manual pin type in. So that wasn't as seamless as I wanted it to be. Transferring the SIM card to eSIM over worked a lot better this year than last year. Last year got hung up. I had to go to the AT&T store. It didn't work for half the day. I didn't have any problems transferring the eSIM over this time, so that's nice. But yeah, it was kind of annoying because I was trying to get it set up and it took me almost 4 hours trying to get this phone set up because it refused to transfer my data over. I ended up having to completely re-back up everything on my iCloud and then restore it from an iCloud. And one thing, don't start transferring everything over yet because there's some sort of bug. You have to update it to iOS 17 before to let you transfer your stuff over. So I started setting it up. It's like, oh, there's an update to iOS 17. You set up iOS 17, and then it makes you start the installation and the setup process all over again. So this has been the most pain in the butt setup process I've ever experienced with an iPhone. You may experience some of that heartache. Anyway, just letting you know. If you're starting it up from new, it's not that big of a deal. But if you're trying to transfer stuff over, yeah, make sure you do the update to iOS 17 first. Yeah. So USB-C, the action button's kind of neat. So I programmed mine. If you press and hold it, you can do things. I set mine to the flashlight. I like that. I use my flashlight more than I use my mute switch, which they change it to a software feature. So when you swipe down here, there's a little icon, the little bell. That's basically what replaced the mute switch. That's fine. You can still use it for a mute switch if you want. But what it's nice is you can change it for different things. It's customizable. I like that. So I appreciate that now if I use the iPhone, I can just press the button, turn my flashlight on. Very cool. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot of craziness going on here. I am worried about the battery. I am glad I was able to pick up the 15 Pro Max. I'll do some distinction stuff later on, and we'll go from there and see how things go. iOS 17 seems okay so far. We'll see how AirDrop works out with this one. I was having iOS 17 issues with AirDrop on my 14 Pro Max. It still was crashing on me trying to use AirDrop, which is a very frustrating thing. But we'll see how it goes with this one. I haven't AirDropped anything yet. But overall, the experience has been fine. If you wanted this phone, you're probably going to enjoy it. Plain and simple. It's an iPhone is an iPhone is an iPhone. Really, it's like the same story with just a new chapter with a new cover image put on it every year. They don't really fundamentally change a whole lot. And they're not going to because they want the operating system to remain very similar. They want the experience to remain similar. They want everything to be as stable and seamless as possible. And they definitely have the best, most seamless experience, I think, in the phone industry. But yeah, it's not my cup of tea, but of course, I will do my best to try and bring y'all coverage in as objective and unbiased way as possible based off my experience. So far, it's been fine. And it's funny because my kids automatically knew that I was using an iPhone. I had texted my son. He was asking, did you get the new iPhone 15? And I was like, no, I didn't. Just messing with him because I was going to surprise him when he got home from school. And he saw, I was like, no, I know you got it because it's showing up a blue bubble on my phone now. Like, how do you know this? You're 13 years old. So yeah, kids and Apple. So that's all I've got in this video. I'm going to monitor this battery situation and come back to y'all here probably in a couple of days just to let you know what my experience is, because that's going to be one of the big determining factors in what I do with this phone. And also, one other thing I didn't realize it's kind of problematic. So when I record with my iPhone, I can't use my microphone with this anymore because this has a built-in lightning port cable. This is a Shure microphone. I paid like $200 for it that I've been using for years. Won't work with this because it's USB-C, and hopefully I don't have to rebuy another mic. But with the USB-C, you can connect it to an external mic I figured out yesterday, and I actually plugged it into a different mic that I use for like streaming and stuff. Turned out it sounds actually pretty nice. So there might be a silver lining here that I might change some of my setup for, but for now, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Hopefully, I'll have a great weekend. If you have any questions or comments, of course, please go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you found this helpful, if you like this stuff, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.